What's up, y'all? Shawn of the Shred here, and this video is gonna be something new. I have this old car body. It's a Lexan car body, and bear with me here because this is probably not what you would expect. But this is a HPI S15 Nissan Silvia car body that I saved, and as you can tell, has got some markings on it. This car body I had sitting on a shelf in my garage when my old dog, which his name was Dojah, he is no longer with me, unfortunately. I loved him very much, but he was very ornery, and he ended up somehow pulling this off of a shelf and proceeded to chew on it for a length of time that was unknown. He did actually manage to chew off a couple of pieces. But anyway, I have long time saved this because, one, it's a memory of my dog. And at the time it was terrible, but now I think, it's kind of unique and original. And two, because it's a Silvia body and I love Nissan Silvias. And so, yeah. So I'm going to try and get this into somewhat good, crappy condition. I have already started a little bit, and that's by taking and actually scratching up the inside of the Lexan in certain key spots, like around the fender right there where it bulges out, because that bulges out, and then where he chewed it, just right here, it looks like the back end is dented, so I put some scratches on the inside there, all along the bottom here, and then around where it's broken, I'm going to do like basically some detail work with some acrylic pens to kind of like make that, black and look all kind of smeared and shit right there, like it's been broken apart. So yeah, so I'm going to take this Lexan body and see if I can make it something that looks purposefully destroyed rather than being an accidental my dog ate it story. And then I'm going to put this on one of my nitros. I've got a HPI RS4, and then I've got an old Traxxas 4Tech nitro. So it's going to go on one of them. I do need to get a wing because I did not find the wing or the decals. I believe he probably managed to eat both of those completely. So all I have is this body. I do not have a decal set or anything else to go with it. So I'm going to have to figure something out there, but I may not do a decal set. Really, all I really want was, the headlights, the tail lights. I mean, I can tint the windows, or I can, roll them in a chrome film. I've got this window tint film that I can use on the inside and do that if I want to actually tint them. So, but we'll see. I'm gonna record my progress as we go. So, hopefully, it turns into something cool. Okay, so I'm working on this side here that's got the extensive damage, and what I'm dealing with right here with these little spots, circles that you can see. Let's see if I can get in there a little closer. So these little circles right here are teeth marks. These little white ones that you see like this actually come this direction out of the body. That's where his teeth were on the inside pushing up. There's some more like right below it that you can kind of see, but those ones are the teeth going in. So what I've been trying to do is basically I've been using a pair of pliers to put over top of that circle and then squeezing down on that bite mark. I'm going to continue to use the pliers and kind of squish down those ones that are pushed out. And then, see if I can kind of get some of those smoothed down just a little bit more, because the way that they stick out from him chewing on it are pretty aggressive, much like he was. So, yeah. I'm actually surprised that he didn't do more damage to it, because he was a 150-pound Rottweiler German Shepherd mix. He was able to do quite a bit of damage, so I'm going to continue to push on those, and I'll see how it works. Okay, so after going across there and pushing in all the little ones that protruded out, it actually made this side right here bow out. It stuck out pretty far, kind of curled out like that because of all the indents I did right here that you can see now push in rather than going out. There was several of them. Once I pushed all those back in, it caused this side to kind of pull out like this. So what I did was I just went ahead and grabbed the car body, and since this side was what was sticking out, I basically squeezed it together right there where you can see this crease, which actually made it look like a dent, but I just did that by grabbing the body and squeezing a section of it real hard, and that put a crease right there, which actually helped to line that back up kind of along the edge right there, so it's got the wheel gap, and then it goes back down to the still dented part. But so that's how I'm able to get what's going to look like an authentic dent right here that the body has in more than one direction. And again, you can't really see it real well right there, but you can definitely see the change right there. I think the damage is coming along pretty well. The scratches that I've put in there were just straight scratches with a razor blade. And now I have grabbed actually this really heavy duty 60 grit sandpaper. As you can tell, that is rough as shit. So just in key spots, I'm going to basically fold this and then use just like basically a corner of it, you know, right along certain areas where I want to like take off some of the in between. And just going to kind of sand it down a little bit in those spots. You could do it on the outside if you wanted to, but honestly, I think if you do it on the inside, it'll give a better overall look, especially since this is a car body that you're supposed to paint from the inside, as you all know. Okay, so you can kind of see how the sandpaper filled in some of the lines between the scratches I did with the knife. It actually, I think, looks a lot better. And because I was able to scratch the surface a little bit more consistently, I was able to really get some good definitions on some of these sections to make it look like it's actually kind of dented in. As you can see, it's got some much more pronounced lines in it in some of the spots where the body has been dented or crumpled. So I think overall that gives it a better look, especially once you get around the front here to this piece that's broken. It really looks like, you know, it kind of smashed into a wall right here and it took off the section, and as it did, it really got deep here and some damage broke it and then damaged the whole side. So that's kind of what I'm going for. That's the stage I'm at now. I think it needs a little bit more work on the outside with some of these circles and bite marks that he left in it. But I am getting closer. Okay, so again with this dent, I'm still working on putting this one in. But I've got the body basically on that line right there, and what I'm doing is I'm just pinching it wherever I want the dent to go, and then it kind of creates that deformity in the body. Yeah, it's got a good dent going, and if it's too extreme, then you can always, you know, just take and do a little push on it and pop it back down a little bit, and there, it's less extreme, but now you've got a pronounced body line dent right along here, right before the damage, and right in this door, so it looks like it was crumpled in. And then what I think I'm going to do is from the inside, I'll do some half circle little black marks right here to look like wheel rub marks from some tandem drifting. And I'll put those down first, and then, you know, have that be part of the damage. I went ahead and cut out this opening right here in the front where the grill is supposed to be, rather than just painting it black. So I went ahead and cut that tiny little sliver out of there. And then also on the hood up here, actually cut out the openings here between the, you know, on the opening for the hood itself, and then this back one, I cut it and then sliced it across, and I'm actually going to bend this back one down so it looks more realistic, just like the real cars. This back piece typically is bent down. These have vents in them, so I might get me some mesh screen and put them over top of this one, because this is open, this is open. This is not, because the posts have to go here, so I did not mess with this one at all. I wanted it to stay rigid. But I would still run the screen probably from up here. But the screen, I think, will add a cool effect. And then that way it still allows air to actually flow in and through here, because I'm not a big fan of cutting a hole in the windshield like some people do for the nitro cars. I do have a couple like that, but I don't prefer it. So if anything, what I might do though, I may end up doing some holes up here across the top of the windshield. So that way air can flow through the top that way, rather than one big ugly hole right here, or, you know, one up top here where the head sits. So, but yeah, that way I can have some ventilation. Okay, so I have went across most of the body and pulled out, or rather pushed in any of the dents that were pushing out from the dog bites from his big ass teeth. I also went ahead and taped over the top right here where I had cut out the little vents for the hood, and taped over the spot where I had cut out this little piece right here out from the front grille, so that way I can actually have an opening there. I've got some screen mesh, so I'm going to get some of the mesh I've got for a screen door and put it across these openings, so that way they're screened in, and it'll probably look a little bit better. On the bottom side here, I also went ahead and took some of these coffee stirrers that I've got, and I went ahead and propped this last flap right here of the hood with those coffee stirrers and kind of held them in place. And then I just gently heated up that area right there, so that way the plastic would kind of stay that way. So whenever I take out the coffee stirrers, it should have the actual vent right there on the back that dips down, and then the others will be open, and then I'll put the, you know, the screen across there to close it in. But I've finished pretty much taking out the dents that I wanted to take out on this side, and added in the additional denting that I wanted to add in right there. And also a little bit back here in the back corner, I got a little dent right there that I added in by squeezing the plastic together. So I've got those, and then now I am finally ready to go ahead and proceed to doing a little bit of paint. So I've got these acrylic paint markers that I'm going to go ahead and start using for some detail stuff. And I've got a good variety of colors in here, so I'm hoping, if I open the right end here, so I'm hoping with these different colors I'll be able to kind of use some detail stuff around here. Like it's got some little like rivets that go around here. I want to do those rivets. And then like on the side right there, I'm probably going to make some of those little bite marks look like, I don't know, bullet holes or something like that. So essentially it's just going to end up being a drift missile that is, you know, in pretty bad shape. So that's what I've done so far. Okay, so what I'm doing right now with this silver, I already went ahead and I did some of the, like the rivets that go along here for the fat fender. I've colored in some of the scratches from the outside with some gray, so that way when I go over them later with the color, they'll kind of stand out. And now on this side with the scuffs, what I'm doing is I'm basically taking my little paint marker here and I'm running it right along the area where I've scuffed. And then I'm taking a finger and rubbing it, because then I'm actually pushing it down into those scratches. And then I get like a silver scratched out highlight look. Alright, so they of gives me that, and then from the outside you've got highlighted like gray scratches, and then when I put the paint beneath that, then those should stand out as being what looks like on the surface. So hopefully that'll work. Okay, back to this car. Y'all don't want to hear me sing. So I've went ahead and blacked out the front little grill there, which it's not fully. You can still see some spots through there, but I'm going to finish that off. The scratches that I put in right there with the silver, if you can kind of see the detail on that, is showing up nicely. And then the silver that I have kind of smeared around the edge is also coming out nice. Here is a combination of silver and black together, and these are like the little half circle marks that you would see on the paint from tandeming. I did the black little dots here for all the little spots, and I'm gonna go ahead and do silver circles around those, and then when I lay the paint on top, hopefully those will look like little bullet holes. I went ahead and did the rivets on top in silver, so I finished them off down the trunk in silver as well, which hopefully those will show up. But all the scratches and the damage and everything is actually turning out pretty well with the little paint markers and using them to kind of highlight. And this is on the other side where, like right here, I created a crease and lines, and then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put tiny little holes on both sides, and then I'm going to use like black wire and put little crosses through here to make it look like zip ties. And then I've got the tire marks on this side as well, and some black coming off around the, you know, the edge of the fender where you would have some black there, and I'm gonna put some more back here around the outside of this fender from, you know, the rubber that would come off as you're burning up tires. And yeah, so I think it's coming along and looks pretty cool so far. I'm excited to see how it turns out.